I'm Ms. Bissell, and I have a question here today that involves functions and composite functions. So we're given if f of x equals x to the second minus 5 and g of x equals 5x, what is the value of f of g of 3 minus g of f of 3? That sounds really difficult, but it's really not. It's just evaluating functions. Now, they're always going to give you the functions they want you to use. So in this case, f of x is x to the second minus 5. G of x, when they ask for the g function, that's 5x. So let's look at this first. Let's piece it out. So first, we're going to find g of 3. So first, what that means is I only need the g function, and I need to evaluate it at 3. So I would look at the g function, which is the 5x. So I want to find g of 3. So that means I'm just going to substitute x with 3 and calculate that, which is 15. What that means is g of 3 is 15. So instead of f of g of 3, what I now have is f of 15 because 15 is equal to g of 3. So now I'll evaluate f of 15. So that means I need my f function, and I'm going to evaluate it at 15. So that means I'll have 15 to the second minus 5. Once I finish that, I will have my f of g of 3 completed. So 15 to the second, I believe that's 225 minus 5, which is 220. So that is f of g of 3. So that's the first part of what I needed, 220. And now I need to subtract this part. So let's go over here and do this. Now we're going to start at the inside. F of 3. I can do f of 3. That just means I use my f function and I substitute 3 in for x. So I'll have 3. So f of 3 is 3 to the second minus 5. That's 9 minus 5, which is 4. So f of 3 equals 4. So instead of writing f of 3, I'm going to write g of 4. So now that means I'm going to use my g function. And wherever there's an x, I'm going to place a 4. So it looks like g of 4 is 20. So when I finish this, what I really have is g of f of 3 equals 20. So if I need to subtract those, 220 minus 20, my answer is 200. Okay, that looks really messy right now. But basically, remember what you did is you took the inside first, and then when you find that value, you go out to the next function and use that number in there. So that's what we did with both of these, and we subtracted them. Now I have another problem here. I have new functions. So in this case, I have f of x is the square root of x minus 5. G of x is x to the second, and I want to know the value of this. So you can pause a minute, and then when you come back, we'll do this together. Okay, so if we want to tackle this one, we've got a composite function here, which really just means we have a function within a function. So we are going to start on the inside and find f of 16. So f of 16 means I use this, and I'll replace that x with 16, and I'll evaluate it. Square root of 16 is 4 minus 5. It looks like that's negative 1. What that means is this f of 16 is equal to negative 1. So now I'll need to do g of negative 1. So I look at my g function. So that's 1 to the second. I'm sorry, negative 1 to the second, which is positive 1. So g of f of 16 equals 1. And now I'll do the same thing here. I'll start on the inside, do g of negative 6. So I need my g function, so I'll plug in negative 6 to the second power. And negative 6 times negative 6 is 36. That means 36 is this right here. So now I'll do f of 36. Well, my f function is the square root of that. So the square root of 36 minus 5. Square root of 36 is 6 minus 5, which is 1. I'm going to subtract those two answers. So it looks like I have 1 minus 1. And my total answer will be 0, which is B.